does that kind of anything? Does that do anything for them really? And that's why I think HopeStreet is effective, because it's been there long term. But even then, you know, it's a hard thing to commit yourself to making those kind of close relationships as well. Yeah, so I'm there for the long term of it, yes. You know, there's no point just saying, oh, this is a nice little step in my career ladder. It's got to be that you're committing yourself to being down there, yeah, long term. And a lot of our church people, or 10 or 12 of them, don't live in the area as well, but they're committed to ministering in that place because they see it as an important thing. Yeah. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Well, as much as you probably
yeah, that's cool. Right. Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing. I was just wondering, how do you separate your own life from your own emotions and your marriage and your home life with everything that you hear? What do you do for you to not let it get on top of you?
Okay. We're sort of fortunate in that our house, the church got us a house in Glebe, so we're the other side of the city, so being geographically distant helps. Yeah, I come home and I do what most pastors do. They come home and dump all the day's stuff on their wives and then come watch TV. Do you do that, Dave?
I don't remember.
No, okay. But certainly yeah, I mean, just debriefing with other work colleagues is helpful. Yeah, you know, there are some heartbreaking stories. And I guess it's that whole thing, you can't rescue everybody, but just do what you can for people as they present the need in front of you. And certainly to pray for people is the other one. And I could do that a whole lot better, I'm sure, but just to pray for people and believe that God will somehow, in His wonderful ways, look after them. But it is, if I sit and think about work all the time, it can be overwhelming because the need is so overwhelming. There are just so many hurt people out there. And yeah, what do you do with them all? Yeah, it is a hard one. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Ken, for coming and speaking to us. I work in a local Christian school, and we went to HopeStreet for many years. Unfortunately, we don't go down there anymore, but I thought it was wonderful exposing our Year 10 students to the ministry there, to get to speak to the people on the street. It was great for them to be challenged. But I think that the danger sometimes is the kids go, they see, they might hand out some food, and then they go home and they forget about it and go back to their life. It's something that we talk about at home, wanting to have a heart for those less fortunate. Besides, you know, actively going, in addition to that, what else can we be doing as parents to help to ground our kids and to help them to develop a heart for those less fortunate?
Yeah, okay. Just coming to church on Sunday with your kids, just to take them for a walk out in the Tommy Rand Square, take them for a walk out in the bedroom, and yeah, it's a confronting sight. Now I've been there for a while, and I guess I'm sort of used to it. It doesn't hit me in the face, but it is a confronting sight to see people sleeping outside. I mean, that's, you don't do that unless you go camping or something. Also, it's off the topic in a way, but short-term mission trips to third world countries, they're good too. I use them, recommend them. Yeah.
I know we all see people in the street, and the thing is, a lot of us think, and terms like hobo and people that we're afraid of. Do you think that also restricts people from helping these people who are really in the need?
Yeah. I think when I'm looking at a bunch of young people, we had a team from Narrabeen Baptist Church come down months ago now. What I really admired about them was that some of these young people were doing a 40-hour famine, and they came down on a Saturday arvo and cooked a barbecue. So that was good. And these people I'm talking about are real people. Like, they're flesh and blood people, just like you and me. And when you come down and serve them, and just meet them face to face and talk to them and sit with them and just, they're not scary, they're not going to attack you or beat you up or anything. Well, not many of them. They're not going to attack you or beat you up or anything like that. There's actually a level of safety there which I've found quite incredible. But But yeah, they're real people, and just to have opportunities where you come down and do a barbecue or sit around at breakfast with them and just talk to them and ask them about their lives and just find out that, yeah, they've got real hurts and they're real people. So that's the hard thing here, to not label them, isn't it? You know, because whether we do it consciously or unconsciously, we label people very easily. And there's a big danger in just labelling these people and writing them off. I've got to check myself sometimes. I say, I'll be saying I'll think about a person and just think of them as hopeless. And then I think, no, I can't think of a person like that. They are not hopeless. There's not a lot of good things going on maybe in their life, but they are not hopeless.
Hi. My first job out of high school, actually, I was based in Wollongong in Downwell Street.
Oh, wow.
So as an 18-year-old girl, walking up and down past Matthew Talbot was quite eye-opening.
Yeah.
But as one of the younger girls said, I was quite fearful. Probably seeing some of the guys when they've just got a hit of something and things that, you know, as a young woman. And I suppose I've carried that now. And not that I don't have a compassion for them, but I have a sort of underlying fear. As a woman, coming to help you with ministry, you said, you know, there's not that. But is there, you know, realistically, is it better for you to have blokes to come and help you do, I don't want to be sexist, but you think women can be useful in that?
I think that an even balance is fine, because, I just think they need normal people, normal men, normal women in their life, and so, I think it's just as appropriate to have women.
Normal people, they're not making it's something I've got to get over with, but I had an open attitude, I thought, but I did see the things that you talk about when things were not so clear, so I sometimes look at homeless people and think, I can't just think, oh, you poor person.
Well, like I said, that first time that we walked through the square, and I remember Maz and I were like holding hands, and I was just feeling a little bit nervous in that place. And, but
we're coming from Belrose to Wollongong.
So, I think that just that whole thing of everybody feeling as though they have something to give, and certainly, like I said, that night that the kids came from Narrabeen, it was just an eye-opener for them, and they all, male and female, they all had it all, and just discovered just how real and normal these people are. They just don't sleep in a house. So
that again. When you're rejected by other people, that's one thing, but when you reject yourself. In the workplace, where you work, in the school, you don't have to get along with it.
That's the thing, I think, like you said, some of those people have rejected themselves. And when you don't see any hope in yourself or anything like that, then you don't have a lot of energy to crawl out of the hole you're in. And what we're trying to do is just give these people dignity. And also too, we try not to just have like a handout mentality as well, that we're helping people, like empowering people, hopefully. I mean, certainly Sunday morning is a handout thing. But with the rest of the HopeStreet stuff, we try not to just give. We try to give in order to help them and empower them to find their ways ahead.
More people have questions. I just want to ask Joseph a question, because Joe was down there this morning at HopeStreet and has been there for a little while. So I want to ask you, Joseph, why did you go down to HopeStreet? Why do you go there and be part of things, including church?
So I think when I first got invited, when I first came down to Wollongong, I didn't know Ken or anyone, and I just went by myself. And I think part of me was like, oh, I don't know if I should be serving here or maybe just being here. But I suppose when you go down there and when you're getting involved, for me, I think the people that are homeless, the people who are broken, are the people that Jesus would hang out with if he was here on earth. And in Luke 9 it says that Jesus, that foxes have holes bird's of nest, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. And I think, something that's really been challenging me is the idea that, how can we worship a homeless man on Sunday, yet ignore one on Monday? And, just having that challenge, and as Ken said, being uncomfortable as a Christian.
Thank you, Joseph.
It's good, Joseph.
What does having Joseph come along do for you? How does it encourage you? Does it?
It's one more person in church.
Yep. Okay.
But also, the thing that excites me is just seeing the young guys really just willing to serve. That's a great thing. But anyone of any age that comes down and is willing to come out of their comfort zone and be stretched in their thinking, in their understanding of the way God works, that's exciting. So I'm always encouraged when it comes in. Yeah, especially with this guitar. But it was great. No, it's just it meant a lot. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Can I just ask two very quick questions about giving? First of all, when you spend more time in the city, you see a lot more people begging. And that certainly has been a situation that's changed in the last decade or so. And people lead very busy lives and they run past people and they don't stop to read the story, sadly, that's on a board or give something. And you mentioned it before that often there's a gambling problem, that there's people on the street. I'm not by any means in general saying it's everyone. I often feel that it's probably better to go and buy a bread roll or an apple or something in a food context as opposed to money, but that may not be the right thing to do. And just your advice regarding that, to feel that you can give something in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I know I actually, he wasn't technically, well, I guess he was technically homeless, but he did have somewhere to stay. But he would sit down by the waterfront, so where John Laws lives and all these other rich people, with a sign, oh, please help me on this, on that, I'm homeless, I need money, and he'd make a few dollars a day, and he'd go and buy pot. So, I think, to do something practical, more like, buy me a sandwich or something like that, buy me a coffee, look, some of them might genuinely need the money for something, but look, there are so many food bans and other things around. They don't need food. You don't need to go hungry in Sydney. There's enough of everything going around, enough charities and all that doing their thing. They don't need food. And then they probably don't need marijuana or alcohol either. So I'm a bit reluctant to give to some of those people. Yeah. For what that's worth.
Yeah, no, that's good. I remember giving a guy a packet of Mentos once. And he was so pleased. I felt really stupid, but anyway. Just the other part of giving, just not to hold the microphone, but the other part of giving, my sister-in-law actually lives in an apartment in Waterloo. She lives in HopeStreet, just around the corner from where you're talking about, so we go down there quite a bit. The girls have certainly been exposed to that situation quite often. But my question is that, what we were talking about, Stephen, as Nellie's already touched on, it makes us feel a bit uncomfortable because we go to our big houses and we have our clothes in the cupboard and we have the food in the fridge and things. And I just wondered about the op shop that you were talking about and where the clothes actually come from, because I'm sure that a lot of us can think about things sitting in our wardrobes that we probably would like to give, but I don't know where it comes from, whether that's something that we can also do if we can't get down there or financially can't or whatever. Is that something else that we might be able to help out with?
Yeah, it's part of giving, I suppose. We get, you sometimes get locals drop stuff in. There are people from other churches bring stuff in. One of the Baptist churches down in the Shire or something came with half a bus full of blankets once. They had a blanket drive. That's certainly a good thing in winter. Something that generally we have enough clothing. Something that's often needed is sleeping bags. Don't go out and buy new ones, but if you've got old sleeping bags and you think, I've been camping for 10 years, that can be a really good practical thing, and blankets and things like that. And also we have a bit of a food store as well, as in just a store with food to give to people, just to make up little hampers and stuff like that. So you can certainly give tinned, the usual tinned, non-perishable sort of stuff. Always willing to take that that as well. Yeah, that's part of giving. Yeah, giving out of abundance. Yeah.
What happens with the Sunday morning food distribution at Woolloomooloo from HopeStreet? When does that happen? What happens?
Okay, there's a few churches, Baptist churches, that are on a roster, so they come down into Woolloomooloo. They've got all their sandwiches made up. They get buns and cakes and fruit and all that kind of thing. And they just set them all out on a couple of tables. The guys file through the door and they're just handed fruit, veggies, fruit drink or tea or coffee. And then they just sit around and eat that. So it's a breakfast kind of for right there. It's not canned food or anything like that. It's just a breakfast for there.
What time of the day is that?
It's at 9 o'clock. Yep.
And who provides the food?
Sorry?
Who provides the food?
Well, the churches are coming. So there's 5 or 6 different Baptist churches that supply the food and supply a small team of people. Next Sunday, however, the church that usually comes in, they're going to be bringing the food in, but we need some people to help serve. So, you're not doing anything next Sunday morning. It's an opportunity just to serve. So, if anyone wants to come down next Sunday morning, let me know. 9 o'clock.
I'd be absolutely stoked if 8 people there tonight gave you their names.
8, that'd be good.
Are you kid friendly? Is it something you, well, not you personally, I'm sure you are. Maybe not. We've only just met. Is it okay to bring kids, or is that
It's okay to
strictly
bring
no?
kids. It's safe. In our church, we have, how many children do we have? 1, that's right, 1. We only have 1 young toddler. That's all. But it's kid friendly, it's safe. Well, if you're asking, is it safe? Is that kind of
I've got 3 girls and I just want
you might not want to wander off down the streets or anything.
depends.
You wouldn't do that here, would you?
No. Okay, thanks.
I have another question. What's your hope for the church and its engagement with the issue of homelessness? Like, you're working it out from a church that's got 5 different churches on the roster. But what do you pray for in regards to the church more broadly? And, what's your heart?
To be effective, we're preaching through the book of Acts at the moment. And if you're familiar with the book of Acts, it's the young church, it's in action, and everyone's empowered by the Holy Spirit. And wonderful things are happening. And miracles are occurring. People are being saved all over the place, and the church is growing. And my hope would be that our church, Woolloomooloo Baptist Church, is just an influential church. Not so much to grow in numbers. Numbers are nice. But for it to be seen as a bunch of people who do stuff and they're under the influence of God, rather than something that they bought from some shady guy in a dark alley. And that's my dream, that we will see miracles and that will be influential for the kingdom of God. It's that simple.
Ken, I want to thank you and Marilyn for coming down tonight. We really do appreciate it. At the end of the article from Toby Hall from Mission Australia.
No relation.
Okay, I'm going to check that. Yes, your long lost brother. He says this: we're all responsible for the home, and this is a Sydney Morning Herald article. We're all responsible for the homeless man whose eyes you avoid as you rush home to see your family. And we're all responsible for the mum and the kids fleeing domestic violence, sitting in Central Station. This is your fault. Surrounded by their worldly things and wondering where they'll spend the night. He says, if you don't do something, or if you don't join us, or join with someone doing something, then neither will our government. And that's a scary thought. That if we don't, then no one will. And so at that level, I want to thank you for coming along and showing us something that we can do. 3 ways of getting involved. I appreciate that immensely. So how about we thank Ken?